going on, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to On the Topic Of. And this week we're actually going to be talking about Suicide Squad and Rotten Tomatoes, which has pretty much been the dominating force of internet nerd culture news, I guess is the best way to put it, because Suicide Squad did come out last night. However, earlier in the week, reviews started pouring in on a site called Rotten Tomatoes, which is one of the most popular sources for getting movie reviews, especially before the movie comes out, and the reviews weren't that great, which did prompt some backlash from the community that was looking forward to the DC Universe movie, and they actually want to get Rotten Tomatoes shut down. So I wanted to kind of talk about that for a minute or two, talk about the petition, and kind of give my thoughts and opinions on that entire situation. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So before we actually get really into this, I want to make something very clear, and that's that I am not a hardcore movie goer, I am not a hardcore comic book fan or a comic book movie fan. I just kind of look at these things objectively, because quite frankly, I'm more of a games kind of guy. I like to play different kinds of games, give my thoughts and opinions on that, and that's really where my strengths, I am Russian. That's definitely where my strength lies. It's in the gaming stuff. But I was very excited to see Suicide Squad because it looks like one of the branches of the DC Universe that you don't really have to know that much about before going and seeing the movie, and you're able to enjoy it. Or at least that's the kind of, vibe I was getting from it. It seemed like they were going to build these characters from the ground up. Now, that in addition to the cast really got me interested because it did feature Will Smith, Jared Leto, amongst other famous people, but it looked like it was going to be a pretty good movie, and a lot of people were looking forward to it. That is why a lot of people were pretty outraged whenever the reviews started coming in on Rotten Tomatoes days before the movie even came out. They gave it a 31% rating overall, and I believe at the time of that report it was around 21 reviews were in, including one from the San Francisco Chronicle that I really wanted to read to you. And it says, and I quote, if you know someone you really can't stand, not someone you dislike, not someone who rubs you the wrong way, but someone you really loathe and detest, send that person a ticket for Suicide Squad. It's the kind of torment you can wish on your worst enemy without feeling too guilty. Not something to inflict permanent damage, just 2 hours of soul-sickening confusion and sensory torment. So the first thing I want to say is that review right there, very well written. Love that excerpt, love that paragraph. Whoever wrote that at the San Francisco Chronicle, very good job. Love that little, piece of writing right there. Did very well on that. That being said, in the same breath, is this really the kind of thing we need to be having days before the movie comes out? Because it does temper people's expectations whether they want to admit it or not, even those that are really looking forward to the movie. For instance, let's say you are a hardcore DC fan, really looking forward to Suicide Squad, and you can't wait to see what other people think about the movie. If you go online and you see that people aren't having the best reception of the movie, or the reception of the movie isn't going so hot, then you're obviously going to expect less of the movie, and you might get a little bit less excited. I don't support that. I feel like if you're excited about a movie, you should be able to go see this movie without having any kind of outside influences, kind of impacting the way you are seeing the film for the first time. And that's why I'm personally in the favor of the idea of having some kind of embargo placed on movie reviews in general, like all the way across the board, where the reviews don't come out until the movie is out, maybe even the day after the movie. I feel like that's a pretty good way to make sure that people going and seeing the movie at midnight release that are really excited about the film can get a full unadulterated look at the film, and I feel like the reviews that come out after that are going to be a lot more truthful than even the ones that are coming out right now. Now, of course, that is my own opinion, and everyone else can have their own, including someone by the name of Abdullah Coldwater, who actually made a petition on change.org to have Rotten Tomatoes removed from the internet because of the negative reviews of Suicide Squad, and primarily because she or he suspected that people were being a little bit biased against the DC Universe as far as movies go, and I can totally understand where they're coming from with that. However, the post was later edited and went back, and the petition was changed to say instead of remove Rotten Tomatoes from the internet necessarily, it's more so just to make it more widespread and better known that whenever someone reviews a movie, it's not necessarily a rating on the movie itself, whether that be from A to F or 0 to 100, whatever you're using as a scale. It's more so a rating of what the person thought about the movie. And I think that's a very important point to kind of get across to people and make it more widely known. Now let's talk about it this way. I love Tron Legacy. It's a great movie, and a lot of people disagree with me on that. A lot of people did not like this movie because it felt like it was getting away from the original Tron. A lot of people thought that they shouldn't make a sequel to the original that came out way back in the day, but I found it to be quite a good movie. It has Olivia Wilde, it has Jeff Bridges, a lot of good actors, a lot of good scenes, and I thought the movie was very cool. I have it on this shelf right here behind me. I might go watch it later on today if I do feel like it. But in the same kind of way, a lot of people absolutely went crazy for the Daredevil Netflix series, but I didn't really find that it was my thing. Didn't like the Hell's Kitchen setting, not really into the whole Daredevil kind of superhero thing, and it just wasn't really something I was interested in, and that's perfectly fine. However, in both of these cases, I didn't let outside reviews impact my opinion and my perspective of what I was seeing. I just went in and experienced it and decided if I liked it for myself or not. That's what a lot of people miss, and that's what a lot of people should do more of. So at the end of the day, should Rotten Tomatoes be removed from the internet? Absolutely not. Number one, because it's a great place for both professional and novice movie reviewers to kind of post what they think about the films that they do see. And number two, it's a great place to check and see what older movies are like, see how the reviews were, especially if you're standing in line at Redbox or, you know, scrolling around through Netflix and you don't trust the rating that's on the site itself. You can definitely check and see what that movie got way back in the day, and I think it's a great tool for that. All of that being said, if you don't want to see movie reviews, or if you don't want to have your perspective influenced by outside sources, then number one, do what everyone else does already. Do what I do. Don't watch the reviews. Don't watch the spoiler cast. Don't read anything. If you don't want to be influenced, you have complete and total control over that. But if you do have a problem with it, then I would be perfectly fine, you know, getting behind some kind of embargo that ends at midnight whenever the movie does come out, so that, you know, you're not seeing movie reviews 3 days before the film does hit theaters, but you're definitely not going to be waiting days and days and days after the movie comes out to see what professionals actually think about the film. That's at least what I think. So there you guys have it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, drop me a like down below and let me know what you think about number one, Suicide Squad, number two, Rotten Tomatoes. Do you think it should be removed from the internet, or do you think there should be some kind of embargo in place? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And if you happen to be new to the channel, I do upload new stuff like 3 or 4 days a week depending on the week, so there's always something new right here on the channel when you drop by to watch some videos. But as for right now, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching this particular video. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.